Oh, did you have? Oh, I see. I see. Okay, so welcome. We're going to have a chill stream with some Eve talk, and we're going to look at the 64-bit client mass demo that's happening on a test server for Eve Online. For those that don't know, a 64-bit client brings a lot more graphic capability to people's games. This is not server-end stuff. This is client-side stuff. So on your computer, the client will be able to render out Eve in a more beautiful way because it's able to utilize a lot more resources, including RAM. Right now, everybody's limited to, I believe, 4 gigabytes of RAM max. The client will not let you go any higher. But with this new 64-bit client, you should get up to whatever CCP decides is appropriate. Last time we got up to 10 and sometimes 12 gigabytes of data, I guess. So that's a big difference. And what that allows you to do is to creep into the middle of the fights without your client crashing, which is normally what happens when these big fights happen that we see. People's clients start crashing all over the place because the amount of memory that's needed to render the fight is too low at 4 gigabytes. So clients will crash. So the upshot is you'll be able to move the camera around and work around and crash a lot less during major conflicts, which is really good. But the added benefit is that you'll be able to actually look in on ships and zoom in without crashing. And that is completely new and extraordinary. And it should render out some of the best combat footage we've ever seen from EVE Online in a live situation. Again, that's when the 64-bit client arrives, not before. And today we're going to see a test of that, and hopefully we can show you some of that beauty when it starts in 30 minutes or so. We'll try to get in there and make sure that we can show you what some of those sweeping camera moves look like and stuff. Last time I was stunned at the possibilities of things that were coming. So, all right, guys, I got a bunch of guys in here with me: Dirk McGurk, Bard, Ghost, Commander A's. They're all going to be hanging around and helping out. And if you want to come into this chill stream and lurk and listen, you can do that, or you can just watch it on Twitch. Good morning, guys.
Yep. Hey, dude.
Yo.
Oh, and McLeod is running this, so I may disappear, but McLeod will be here. You can see him right below me here. All right.
And if you're new to this, Matterall is the one up there. Yes.
Well, it looks like I was going to shoot myself. No, good. Okay, so, well, Dirk just posted inside of Discord here, that's Talking in Stations Discord, that Peligro banned 600 bots from basically the renters of Goon Swarm and Fraternity.
Yeah, he was kind of shamefully specific there, wasn't he? Or,
He really was.
I mean, his exact tweet was: banned about 600 bots, mostly in Greater Western Co-Prosperity Sphere and Fraternity. Treasury just now. Stop it, or I'll huff and puff. I'm kind of missing the Treasury just now part. What does that mean?
Fraternity Treasury is an alliance that is their renters.
Oh, okay, I see. So fraternity dot treasure. I don't know.
Yes,
there was a period in there. So
yeah. Oh, because it's fraternity dot, is it? Let me look that up. I don't know if it's fraternity or fraternity dot, but anyway, Treasury is their renters.
Something like that, but it will be their equivalent.
Yeah, it's fraternity.treasury.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So basically renters from Goon Swarm and Fraternity. Or the Imperium and Fraternity. Yeah, it is fraternity dot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's basically the renter group for Fraternity. Like it's an alliance with a bunch of corporations in it.
See what the delta of those things are. Like how much people got knocked out. How many of the people got knocked out, but how much damage was done to those entities.
I don't think it's.
Rick's
I don't think it.
treasury.
I think it's so. I think it's so recent that they haven't actually put the statistics up
Doomtimed them.
onto Dotlan
Yeah,
yet.
we'll see that tomorrow.
I mean, that's if they even Doomtime them.
Yeah.
And those were, again, that was botting. Is that what the spots? Yeah.
Botting. I'm sure that they're all 600 are currently in the process of trying to work things out and discuss whether or not there's legitimacy to it, and are going through their due process period. or Pellegrin was just like, delete.
I'm going to unmute Cable here. I guess he's muted because he's writing in public. Let's go on, Cable.
Wondering why.
I guess it's set to keep people muted so that people don't jump in and
Start screaming.
Profanity. We've had that happen times. We've been blessed not to have that problem so far. Now that I talk about it, we'll probably have it, but yeah,
He jinxed it.
we'll see how it goes. All right, so that's interesting. Bots getting banned, and does it seem? It could be me, but is Peligro like kind of putting out announcements every few months or weeks?
He does commonly put them out, yeah.
It has become more recently, though. I think that's probably because of the actions of the community constantly whining about it more.
By the way, who are you, Cable? This is the first time we're meeting. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm running for CSM this year, in case you were wondering. We've spoken on Discord a couple times.
You've always been Cable?
Sort of, kind of. I sold my main like a year back or 2 years back, so then I became Cable. I was Trojan before. I am an FC and Theocrafter and whatnot in Volta and Thera, and essentially just spend my time making it a really sad time for the Nullsec guys.
Oh, and Volta. You're not the guy that I was submitted the story before? Not the story, but the bio. No,
Maybe?
if that doesn't ring a bell, then you're not the guy. No, I talked to somebody from Volta and I was like, tell me about yourself. And so he made a video that told me about himself.
Oh, yeah, that's not me.
Okay. You're running for CSM?
Yes.
What's your, this is not an interview, but just what is your like particular, I don't know, expertise or angle on it?
I'd say my constituency is something like wormhole space / small medium scale FCing and whatnot. I wouldn't go to say that I'm a null block capable guy. I know a lot about it, and I know a lot of things that I find broken and yada yada. But my focus, to be honest, is more general game balance.
Game balance. Oh, all right.
Which this game clearly lacks.
Game balance, or like balance between ships and stuff?
Aren't they the same?
I don't know. I think there's a wider.
To an extent.
Yeah, there's a wider. Sure, there's balancing mining. There's balancing.
Of course. I mean, my intention was more to say that it's regarding balancing game mechanics, probably more specifically. And then, of course, to that extent, also some ships and some modules, but it's kind of a large part of it. I have a long list that a couple of CSMs currently have already seen, and yeah, it only grows.
Well, so yeah, contact Artemis Alboza if you would like a 20-minute interview. Great. Good. Let me put that out there to everyone else. If you're running for CSM and you want to be interviewed and get your message out, we'll be running interviews very quickly because the CSM election period, campaigning period, is so small.
I mean, it's already started, pretty much, right?
Yeah, and the interviews, we've already got a couple in the can that'll be coming out soon. Normally we like to wait until there's an official list so that because one time I interviewed like 2 or 3 guys and they forgot to do the paperwork properly. So they were not even like electable. But since it's so short, we'll probably start before that official period closes. Do we know when that is?
Was it not the 12th, I think it was?
Oh God, didn't we say this earlier? Yes, the 12th the application period is over.
Yeah, I'm just pulling it up right now. It's
The
application
12th is
period.
over.
It's not the 12th. It's the
It's the
7th.
Is it not?
So it's
Yes, it's
basically the application period to put in your applications ends this Sunday coming up.
So basically you have 5 days left.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then they announce the candidates on the 25th of May, and you start voting between the 10th and the 17th of June. So you really, you've got about 2 weeks in there to properly campaign?
This is kind of funny. I just caught this. I was sort of joking about it the other day about how they say that the campaign period is from the 25th of May when they announce at Eve Down Under who the official candidates are, and that will run through the 7th of June. Okay. Which I was saying the other night that, really campaigns begin whenever candidates begin them,
Well,
but
the campaign starts at the end. No, starts when the last CSM takes its seat, right?
well, what I didn't catch was the fact that they say in here the campaign period 25th of May to the 7th of June, and then voting goes from the 10th of June to the 17th. Like, it's like there's a 3-day blackout window where stop campaigning. You can't campaign during this. You should have already said your things by now.
Do we know how many people have officially announced?
As of last count, Noisy put it at 25. I know I've seen at least 6 more since then.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was going to his site to try, because he does it based on who's actually put something out on the forum.
Mm-hmm. Quite simply, we are really short this year compared to what we would normally have.
Normally it's like, I don't know, somewhere near 50, right?
70 to 80.
That's been some of the high years, though. Last year was only 48, I thought.
There's 28 currently on his list. Last year, I believe it was 46 actual candidates come game day.
Yeah, 46.
I might be considering how many
That was the year before.
of themselves in. Because I know, obviously, as you said a minute ago, a lot more will put their posts out and then never apply as well.
Natalie Pago. Thank you.
You've got those, who put it out there and never really had any intention. You may have those who put it out there and for one reason or another, their application wasn't accepted.
Creature.
It's currently 35 applications, including people that I know of that have applied and just haven't posted on the forums yet, at least.
Okay.
And Creatures, I think, was actually accepted and then revoked.
Yeah, he was official.
Yeah, because and that's why they had to make a statement, because I think he was shown to have been official, and then they were removing him.
Thanks very much to Natalie Pagel. That sounds like a real name.
It's all right. That's fine.
It's all right.
If she's fine with it, then fair enough.
Oh, and I think so. Let's see. Oh, she spurred me and said, my mother is a lovely woman who smells of light floral spice.
What?
She was exemplifying what spurging's like.
Yes.
All right. Could do worse. Okay. So what else have we got? So CSM's coming out. You have until the 5th. You have 5 days to join the CSM run. There are about 28 to 35 candidates that are already in the process of getting to be official candidates. CCP will announce the official list at Eve Down Under. and then it's a race until mid-May. No, is it June? When do you vote? June, right?
June the 10th.
June the
17th.
10th, which is basically around Eve North, basically the Fan Fest at Toronto. Right around then is when voting starts. It's probably only a week long, so make sure you vote for the people who are official. All that is coming up. You have 5 days to get in. If you're going to do it now.
For those that are considering running, remember that you need to somehow cultivate at least 2,000 votes. And not just 2,000 ballot mentions. You need 2,000 votes that actually get counted towards you before you get eliminated. So if you have 2,000 10th round picks, you're not in. If you have, better part of 1,000 first round picks, your odds are substantially higher. So keep that in mind if you're planning on running. As somebody who's run for the last 5 years and failed at it, I can tell you exactly what the statistics look like. If you don't think you have 2,000 good buddies that are willing to vote for you, consider running in a future year.
I mean, you could theoretically win if you had 2,000 number 10 votes and all of those 2,000 votes like really picked poorly with their first 9.
You'd be out long before they ever transferred to you.
Hey, Killer B.
You need some first pick votes to even not be eliminated as the first person. You need to have like at least a couple hundred first pick votes, regardless.
I believe the lower limit that I've seen before is about 700 first pick votes to not go out.
But that was like for guys like Anomaly who were like, and Merkelchen and whatnot, who were second and third on the Goon ballot, right? So I mean,
Hey, Killer B, you're running again?
Yes, there will be, indeed.
So I see that.
I haven't really made a post. I'm not really planning to make a post either. That said, I need to submit my application again. Can't forget about that.
Yeah, you have 5 days.
Yeah, I should be fine. I'll probably do it this
Again?
weekend.
Incumbents have to redo the process?
Huh?
Do incumbents have to redo the process?
Well, sort of, yeah. We have to send in, I don't think we have to send in our passport again, but we do have to just fill out the form again and, that thing. But I should have the vote, so I'm not going to bother doing any campaigning or whatever on a larger scale anyways. Unless somebody turns their word on what they told me, then I should be fine.
So you're probably the first seat for Northern Coalition and
probably going to be first seat for NCPL and all the renters, and then number 2 on Horde. And yeah, I mean, that's probably already enough, but we'll see. Maybe China can get involved as well.
China, the nation, or the
FRT basically.
Fraternity.
If Elo runs, and he's going to be number 1 on FRT, and I can put. We basically trade seats, right? I put him on number 3 of NC, and then he puts me on number 2 and number 3 of FRT and stuff like that. That's how you do it. Until you have votes.
Coalition.
Andres Afanador from Destructive Influence in Northern Coalition. Is he going to cite votes off you?
No.
We have a couple of people of NC running. Riverini is also running, and some others, but they will probably be sacrificed for the greater good.
Riverini's running?
The greater good.
He has run before. Same time that.
The unfortunate thing about the CSM and this year is it's really almost not possible to get in unless you have a very high profile and a coalition backing you of some kind. So because there's only 10 slots, and I did the math with Aerith and some others at the CSM summit, and I did it again a couple of days ago with Goblins, and it's like of those 10 available seats, 8 are pretty much guaranteed gone already. So there's like 2 open spots to people that might just be wild cards, but the rest is pretty much booked out already.
Is that just because of coalition voting, you think?
Yeah, pretty much.
So
And
last time that there was some wild cards that, well, Steve, I guess Renukin took
I don't
one
consider
of
him a
them.
wild card. I consider him one of those 8
Safe
spots.
seat.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's
I guess-
Most of the high-sec people just vote for him because they have nobody else to vote for.
Right.
He gets a lot of indie votes as well because he actually helps and he helps facilitate and he runs an indie sort of
Brisk took
website,
one of
so-
those spots, I guess. One of the well, he was also on a coalition.
Well, yeah, but not really. Like, he was so far down on the Goon ballot, it didn't really matter. It was just made a really good campaign, obviously.
Yeah, and then Suetonia, right? Was the other one?
Yeah, Suetonia is probably going to get in as well because that's usually who the low-seckers vote for.
That's going to be highly competitive, even though there are less people and a shorter time. If people vote their block ballots, that kind of seals the deal for most of CSM.
Is Suetonia running again?
I think so, yeah.
I heard he wasn't.
Well, let me ask.
I'm actually on the fence. I was thinking of running, and then I decided not to. And then my wife encouraged me, and then now I'm thinking about it.
I remember you got 5 days.
Yeah, it's not that. I can, I've got the passports. I've got the. I said that multiple. I got the passports because
he has multiple passports because he's actually a spy.
FBI, open up.
I got the passport thing done and all that, but it's an issue. The issue I'm having and the trouble I'm having is, do I want to do the work? And it's not that I don't like that because I do it every day anyway, but I mean, what is the actual work? It's hard to know what CSM actually does.
I can tell you. I can tell you exactly what we do. We have at least one meeting a week, which is basically like a weekly sync up with CCP, and then sometimes we have meetings with production teams, with individual production teams. Those usually go on, depending on how much has happened. Those usually go on for like an hour and a half. So that's that, and then you have the summit. Everything around the summit is pretty high effort. Like around the summit, maybe like 2-3 weeks before the summit, and then a couple of weeks after. There's usually a lot more work, and then the summit itself obviously is 1 week of work. But apart from that, like between the summits, it's pretty chill. Depending on who you're trying to represent, obviously, if you're trying to represent the wormholers, then you're going to have a tough life. But if you just, try to work on stuff, then you're going to be fine. Like I work mostly on balancing stuff at the moment, for example, with CCP Rise, and that's just him and me talking basically, and the other people involved. It's not that much. It's just like chatting on Discord with somebody, except you talk about a little bit more specific stuff.
Right.
When you say a meeting, you're talking about voice comms or video chat or something like that, not just the normal communication that kind of goes on. We
use Slack now. We used to use HipChat. Now we use Slack, and it's just it's like a proper video conference basically. Depending on which teams are involved, they all call in with cameras and stuff, and then we just chat.
Yeah, it's what.
And then you've also got ongoing sort of chat communication.
Yeah, we like in between the meetings we talk on Slack, just chatting.
I imagine it's a lot like INN used to run or TIS runs. We have, well, not like TIS because we don't have video conference meetings, but you fire up the incredibly easy to use tools that we have available now, which is you can get on voice comms like we're doing now, or you can get on video, or you use chat and you're in touch constantly if you need to be. And yeah, so I imagine it's kind of the same thing. I just don't know what the actual workload is or what's expected of you, because I don't see CSM as necessarily junior game devs, which a lot of you guys are capable of being, right? Like Killer Bee, Suetonia, Elo.
I don't think we are, honestly. Like that's what people often think wrong. Like I did a town hall once, right? And then people come to you and they say, "Hey, this is a problem in Eve. How would you fix it?" It's like I have no fucking idea. because I'm not a game designer, right? Sorry for swearing. It's not my job to come up with a solution as a CSM, in my opinion. What I can do is I can filter feedback very well, from the people that talk with me about stuff that I know about, and then also I can sort of consult CCP on certain ideas they have, and I can tell them I think this is going to play out that way just based on my experience. That's what my value as a CSM is. There's people like Aerith who are very smart when it comes to economy and markets and stuff like that. He's really good at that. I have no clue about that stuff. What I really know, I have a lot of experience in 0-0 combat and how how wars usually play out and that kind of stuff. And then I can look at a change that they propose and I can say, so this is how I think it will play out, and based on what I think, maybe you guys should do that and that instead. And then they take that feedback and they do whatever they want with it.
That is what I'm talking about. I wouldn't say you're a junior game developer in that you think of ideas to put forward to create content for the game or to create features for the game, but you are like a bouncing board for reasonability. Will this work or won't it work, right? They kind of like say, well, this is what we're thinking. And it's, like you said, you might work with Rise about balance and stuff. Well, that to me is like game development. Like CSM in a sense is helping to develop the game by looking at the stuff and tweaking it. You guys bring the experience of what it's like to play the game and how it's actually played. And they bring the stats that they have to work with.
As an example, right, at the last summit, so at the first summit that I had in 2018, I went in the balance session and I said, hey guys, the Ferox is OP. I think it should be nerfed. Then at the second summit, they proposed some changes to the Ferox. And I looked at them and I gave them feedback on those changes. Then we saw what they actually patched into the game. And now we're going to see how it's going to play out. And then at the next summit, should I get in again, I will now go and say, hey, by the way, you did these changes to the Ferox. It doesn't really look like it changed the meta in any way. So can we look at them again, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the extent of like what we do. It's not like we can tell CCP do this now, and then they're like, okay, let's go, let's do it. It's like we consult.
Yeah, you don't tell CCP to jump and they say how high. Like that's not the relationship.
Well, we get that, but it's a cooperative game development situation, is what it sounds like to me. Now, I don't necessarily think that's how CSM should be limited or even viewed, but you have such good players in there. And I cite Killaby, I cite Sutonia, Aerith, or whoever else is really good at the technical aspects of the game. And it becomes kind of an area to kind of work out game development. So here's the thing. If I were to run, I would not be very good at any of that. There are people who are 100 times better. So that's why I don't see a justification for running, except to bring in a different point of view about the game in general, that it's not about all the nuts and bolts that we do, but it's about the imagination of the game and how to appeal to people who don't already play it. And when it does appeal to people's imagination and they want to play it, what do they experience versus what they expected to experience? Those are the kinds of things that I don't know if the CSM has all the right people for that sort of thing. I would say you need about 80% to be nuts and bolts, because you need that kind of feedback to create a better game. But that to me just seems like more game developers rather than people who play this game as a hobby, as a spiritual level. There's the video game players that are good at executing the mechanics, and then the people who play this game as a hobby. They're collecting things, they're talking with people, they're doing stuff. It's not necessarily being good at the game, it's just existing in the game. Okay, enough of that. CSM, Killaby, good luck on your run.
Thank you.
And Cable, good luck on your new run, whoever else is running. Again, we do interviews, and we will talk to Artemis Elbosa and schedule something up, and we'll get you out there. We got about 10 minutes before the 64-bit client starts, the test starts, and we'll be looking at that.
Did you guys cover the higher deal between Test and Horde and ISAC? Was that already covered in the TIS, or was that talked about at all? Maybe some politics you could talk about?
Yeah, we talked about it last week, but do you have any information on that? Might as well. We have 10 minutes.
Well, I don't know what you were told, but it's pretty much it's a pretty straightforward deal. It's just obviously there were a lot of fights going on between PanFam, Horde, and then NC and PL came to help out, and Test and Perimeter over the control of the high-sec forts, because they do make a decent amount of money. And Horde and Test have recently sort of come to a agreement in which they stop fighting each other, and they kind of just pool the money. They pool all the money that is being made in those high-sec citadels, and then they share it. That way they can create a stable and safe environment in the high-sec market, more or less safe. And both alliances can focus their resources on whatever they have going on in 0-0. That's pretty much the idea behind that.
Yeah, that's a very big deal, and we'll cover it Sunday and give it all the time that it needs. Last Sunday was really about what was going on in the South. We're delayed a week because we wanted to do the ELO and PGL show 2 weeks ago, but PGL couldn't make it, so we had to punt until the following week, and that's when the deal came through. So probably this week we'll cover it and cover it well, give it all the time that it needs. Because I think it's significant that these guys, I mean, it's a testament to I Choose You making it hard on Test, that Test would have to come to the negotiating table again and say, okay, yeah, let's split all this up instead of us fighting each other. And I think there's a story to be told about how he did that, because he's a much smaller organization than Test. Even the Test has they set up a whole police force that was really clever. It will be very interesting. And now with the three of them, and I mean, I Choose You, Test, and Horde, with the three of them all grouped up, and I think Goonswarm gets something out of it too, right?
I'm not really aware of the specifics in which Test give some of the to Goons, but I do know that that they sort of talked to Goons before they did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least that's what my sources tell me. Obviously, I might be wrong, but you never know.
Yeah, I think I heard Vili say that they had cut them into the profits or whatever, smaller percentage. But the point is, like, that kind of locks it up. Nullsec has that market now locked up in a more significant way. It was always protected. It was always a protected market from Horde, because Horde was close, and it would be a big pain for the southern powers, which would be Test and Imperium, to kind of try to handle that. But Test has managed to do it, and they did it with the help of the Imperium, so they cut the Imperium in on the profits. But now you have a market that is by North and South standards shared, so it lends a lot of stability to that, and they're all going to make money. And it really is kind of the mob taking over, the banks.
Yeah, it's very interesting. We've always talked about, obviously there's always some stuff going on in 0-0, luckily, so we don't have to turn to that alternative. But there's always been this idea floating around of 0-0 pressing the high sec a bit. Maybe we'll come to that at some point when all of 0-0 is bored. But for now, we're gonna stay focused on each other. Because now with the new war mechanics, you can declare war on 1,000 corps quite reasonably without it being too much money, Yeah. So technically, if some 0-0 entities were really committed on just for the sake of showing the game which sector of the game is the most powerful, we could definitely do something like that. Just sort of declare war on all of ISEC and burn everything down. I'm sure there would be a lot of drama over that, but
I can hear you laughing.
Yeah, because you know how much money that can be. Like there was this Asbill kill a couple of months back where some corp with like 8 or 9 dudes just blew up some random Asbill in HiSec, and it dropped like 50-60 bill. Because people, they build crazy shit in some of the stuff in HiSec, and they feel safe about it, right? So they don't really worry because they're just a random dude with like 3 or 4 friends, and they run this rather large industrial operation together, and they just have like 40-50 billion worth of stuff in an Asbill, and they just blow it up, and then like it's gone, right? Like, it's asset safety or whatever, but it looks great.
It would drop if it was in build, right?
Yeah, exactly. If it was in build or something, they drop, right? See, there you go. So that's just something interesting. And also, I think the tiers would be quite hilarious. So that's why I laughed a bit, because I can already imagine the Reddit posts. But that's just dreaming. Like I said, obviously we all kind of busy with each other at the moment. It could be a bit busier, but I think we'll have an interesting summer one way or the other.
Yeah. Isn't it weird? I open this up to everybody here. Does it seem that the summer lull is, well, at least 2018, it wasn't there? Like there was a lot of activity during the summer?
Yeah, I mean, 2018 summer, we got our shit kicked in by goons in the north. So there was definitely a very active summer. We'll see. And I'm kind of thinking my predictions say that this summer is going to play out probably not as big. We're not going to have something like X47, I think, but at least there's going to be some content in a larger way, I think, this summer as well.
Panzia says something interesting. He says it's the Nullsec's attacking and locking down and basically burning down HiSec is a good way to make everything cost more. And that brings me to, is it? Because if the markets actually start getting built up out in Nullsec, what's to prevent them to try to really interrupt their competition, which would be HiSec? So I can see this conflict coming.
For us.
What's that?
HiSec isn't competition for us. If anything, we sell more stuff in HiSec than HiSec builds in HiSec.
Yeah, but if you make it painful to live in but to do commerce in HiSec, and you open up your markets to the public in a way that's safe for people to come and go, like I could see an evolution to that sort of a framework where you guys basically...
It's like protection money, basically, reverse a bit, because if you think about it, right, we already control the perimeter market now, and that's just Plex and injector trading. If we now offer public Sotios, public SBOTs or whatever on HiSec, and we burn everything down except our own, then all the people are eventually going to move into those because they just know it's the only safe place. And that's how HiSec Care Bears work, right? That's why perimeter works, because people, if they feel like it's safe, they're going to use it if they can save money. And that's what, if we can supply something like that and we tell them, well, look, we're just going to once every, like bit like burn JITA, except not just burn JITA, but burn HiSec. If we say, okay, look, once a year, we're going to burn down everything in HiSec, except those public citadels that we supply you with, then even though they might not like it, everybody will eventually move in, or most of them will eventually move into those.
Here's the thing, though, and this is what I learned from talking to, the lead scientists of the California's national forests, right? And we were talking one time, and there was the bark beetle is chewing up these trees in the Sierra Nevadas. California is like mountain range, and there's a lot of dead patches of trees. And I thought it was global warming, so I was terrified that, here's the effects of global warming already. And he said, yeah, it is global warming because the beetles are better able to survive, and their populations are much larger than usual. So they're able to kill off more trees because they're not killed off by the cold winters and the ice. And et cetera, et cetera. And the population problem for those bugs is getting worse and worse and worse, so more trees will die. And I said, well, what can happen? Is it going to take rainfall and ice? And he said, no, usually what happens is this goes unabated for a while, and then some pathogen, due to their overcrowdedness, will come in and wipe them out. That's what happens in nature. So if Nullsec becomes too strong, there will be some kind of a viral event that will come in and destabilize them. And you can see that all through EVE Online and Nullsec.
I mean, that's just literally people and egos usually what destabilizes stuff.
The ego is the virus.
Yeah,
that is the one.
And if that doesn't exist, then you have what you had on Serenity, basically. So there is an end game. The Avengers Endgame happening at the moment in the theaters. There is an endgame to EVE, but the trick is not to get to that point, basically. I don't think it's, there's a lot of people that like to just go and say, hey, goons are killing the game, but that's obviously bullshit, right? Like, it's the responsibility of all of us, and it's also a lot of the responsibility does fall into the hands of the 0-0 players, is to keep the game alive by playing it right and by making stuff happen. And then almost no friendships, they last forever. I do think that eventually there will be a conflict between Test and Goons, for example. That will probably be a big one. I'm not going to say, I'm not saying that's going to happen anytime soon, but I think it will happen at some point. And just like that, everything sort of shifts. I don't. As long as the people that are currently around and the sort of the how you call it, the feeds? No, what's it? I'm looking for a word, like the fighting between certain groups still exists. I don't think we'll be in Serenity status anytime soon. Because Serenity was effectively dead, right? Like that is the end game. Serenity was the end game, basically.
Well, I think there's a post game there. Like you have the Empire that's ruthless and oppressive, and then you have Rebels, and Rebels try to do something.
Feuds, there you go. Sick 61 and Zix 61 in chat had the right word. Feuds is what I meant.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, it hasn't happened here. And the thing about it is that some of the players, at least in Goon Swarm that I know of, like I think Aerith, Matani too, and other players, and all the players really that are kind of running Nullsec also know pretty well not to overfish. Like they know they need to keep certain things in balance. So it may never come to pass what we predicted. But if it were to come to pass, there's always a usurper. At least in nature, it's a constant cauldron of change.
I kind of feel like, at least in Eve, there comes a point where, one group will end up kind of going, at some point going, okay, let's see if we can conquer the entirety of New Eden.
Oh, you know what?
And normally, sorry, what?
Finish your point. Sorry.
And I was just gonna say, like, normally that's like more hubris talking than actual capacity of being able to do something like that. So invariably they end up getting crushed, and it's sort of like a soft reset almost for Eve. It could kind of happen with WoW, but
there is one exception to all this, and we just heard about it in real life, and that is a report that came out that we're driving a lot of the biosphere into extinction, mostly because we're taking up their habitat and stuff like that. Terribly depressing.
But that has a knock-on effect for us as well anyway, so it's fine. Like,
it'll wipe us out. That's why, what's funny about environmentalism, people were like, oh, you want to save the planet. I'm thinking, no, I want to save our habitat, because it's not really about the planet. The planet's going to live. It's just going to wipe us out. That's what environmentalism is about.
Yeah. Planet will be fine. Like the planet will like live on way past us. It'll
catch a fever.
Sorting us out.
Yeah, and we, the virus, will be gone, and all our cement will be ripped to shreds by whatever comes next. But anyway, gotten too bleak and futuristic.
That was crazy. What the fuck?
Dystopian future.
Matterall, you're very focused on extinction events.
Let's keep going. Yes. Where's it? Yeah.
Hey, it's like a dystopian future, right?
7 out of 8 extinction events that have happened in this world's history have been global warming. The other one was a meteor. All right. Okay, so we are at the 10 o'clock hour. There should be a 64-bit client going on. While we set up for that, Dirk, is it Sweet 16 for Eve?
Was yesterday.
16 years old, right?
She's moved on today. She's driving now, and doesn't want to talk to Daddy anymore.
Pretty sure she already got the. Actually, I don't want to say that, but
Yeah, don't say it. I know.
That could be bad.
Yeah, it would be bad.
That's what happens when kids grow up. I mean, it's just
At least this Sweet 16 is not a Super Sweet 16. If anybody remembers that MTV series, because that was god awful.
They started releasing all the old MTV shows on YouTube. There was all the Pimp My Ride episodes are now being released on YouTube on the MTV channel.
That's amazing. I used to love it.
Exactly, and so Eve is sitting grumpy in her room alone right now.
Listening to records.
Just listening to records. No, dude, it's modern day. Just completely, on her iPhone, sitting there bitching about something.
Are you saying Eve is in its teenage angst years?
It is.
A couple of weeks, she posted a picture that she then really regretted, so she took it back, and all that stuff. So
New realities.
there is that stuff going on. Imagine like an Eve reality show where basically you would create a you would write a show where you write a character and she's a girl and she's basically Eve, and then all the big events in Eve you make it some equivalent of like a real life stuff, and then you make it like a show. I think it could be fun.
It's always
A lot of
been
shit is
pretty
happening.
much high school drama.
Yeah, exactly. It's forever high school.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the I think the Eva, right? And I hope it's okay to talk about this because I think it's public. But the CEO Hilmar, the CEO of CCP, his daughter was born basically the same year that Eve launched, so she should be about 16 years old too, and that kind of puts it in perspective.
Oh, she's named Eva, right?
Yeah, her name is Eva. Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
All right, so Eve at 16. By the way,
it is amazing, is it not? I mean,
yeah,
it's like, okay, so WoW's been out there a long time, right? Completely different kind of concept, right? I mean, the fact that
Eve is older.
This singular world has gone on for 16 years. Forget the game aspect of it, right? Because, well, and let's not debate whether or not it's a game or it's a, game front end to a social simulator, world simulator, or whatever. But the fact that it's gone on for 16, I mean, that is really, that's really kind of big. And and the fact that it can quite possibly continue to go on for a very long time, regardless of whether or not you think it's dying, because, as we all get older, we all realize that we're like, on that pathway anyways, right? So.
Cheetah says WoW was the first MMO. That is not correct. It also depends on what you consider an MMO. It's always been an evolution of social gameplay. When people started getting modems in their homes, you had an evolution of gameplay.
Well,
but I mean, the first games started in late 90s, but before WoW was all kinds of games.
The thing that Cheetah is kind of saying is because it's a catchphrase from Sadis.
It's not a serious comment. Sorry about that.
It's not a serious comment. It's a catchphrase from Sadis, and unfortunately Sadis isn't in chat, so Cheetah's just basically like channeling the psyche of Sadis.
I mean, regardless of what came before, right? The fact that this game that we all happen to play, is been around for 16 years, right? I mean, it's like I can literally mark passage of time, in the 11 plus years that I've been around. Like, I was 5 when Eve, when I came into, Eve was 5 when I came into it, right? And just the mere fact that it continues to go around, it continues to evolve, it continues to become whatever it is destined to become. You got to give CCP credit for having built something that I don't think they ever could have possibly envisioned it becoming. I mean, I don't know what their 5-year plan was in, let's say 2001 or whatever, the company got rolling, but
doesn't it seem like I really think they were throwing everything they had at it, their whole imagination, they were throwing at Eve. Because they may have seen like 7 years or so, they won't admit that, but just the stuff that they were piling on and the technical debt they were accruing, it just seemed like in retrospect, it was reckless, and it's amazing that we survived it, but it could have been the plan. We're going to last like 5 to 7 years. Let's just keep building this thing up and making it more and more spectacular, because all the expansions of the first 7 or 8 years were really imaginative, and they felt like expansions. Like there's new planets.
Because it was literally expanding at the time. I mean, if you were to look at this as kind of the new world, right? The westward expansion and all that kind of stuff, right? Like it was easier to expand westward until you reached, I don't know, California, and then it was kind of like, okay, now we've got to flesh out everything that's in the middle of it. And go from there. And now here we are. It's no longer, an expansive growth kind of environment. It's more details of this thing that already exists. And that does make it harder for them, right?
Well, you got to build the railroads now to connect commerce between the coasts. And, we need trading stations in the middle. And So maybe it starts to get built up.
I'd say we're actually beyond even that. We're kind of in a postmodern Eve in a way that
Postmodern Eve. I like that. What's that mean?
But my point is that it is just more difficult for them. Like it was easier to show this kind of expansive growth back then because it was literally expanding into brand new territories, not just of space in the game necessarily, but in the growth of the ship classes and, all of that, right? Like it's harder for them to, we used to refer to things back in the day as Jesus features that today, if it came out, would not be considered a Jesus feature.
I did that. I went back and looked at old expansions and thought, okay, here was a Jesus feature. Oh, okay. That isn't bigger than I thought it was. It's actually.
But for the time, it was huge. I mean, the launch of battleships. I don't know. I think Eric's can probably talk to cruisers. I mean, like, you did that, but it was like, wow, it like completely changed the game. And now it's kind of like, okay, great, you're putting this other new ship class or whatever into the game. It's like, okay, is that going to have the same level of effect on the game? No, of course not. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do it.
Oh, that's a good point, because there were less people, the battles were a lot smaller, and battleship was more important, and you didn't have all this counter meta that knew how to handle it already. That's an interesting point. So in context, it was a big deal, but in retrospect, it was kind of not a big deal.
I mean, other things are
starting guys.
Wormholes. I mean, there were things out there that were big kind of game shaping sort of additions to the game, right?
Yeah,
I think it's harder for them to do that now.
All right. So what are we looking at here? Are we going to be checking out the 64-bit client now?
Yeah, I'm just following some.
Awesome.
I'm
going to get off mic. McLeod's going to take over with Commander A's, some help from him doing visualizations. Dirk Bardghost will be around, and check out this next section. I'll be listening in on cell phone as I drive to work. I'll chime in if I can think of anything to say, but this should be cool.
Ace, how do you get that window up you've got above your chat?
The graph?
Yeah, the graph.
What?
It's Control Alt Shift M, by the way.
Okay. I thought that was A's, but okay.
No, it's me.
Cheers.
So the memory usage actually seems to be pretty reasonable, despite having some large-scale models on grid.
It's better than last time for sure.
I mean, one of the main aspects of this is memory usage, right? So that's why I have that particular window up. Who's keying up right now? It's probably you, Bardghost. Yeah, Bard, you're keying up, by the way.
Sorry, something must have happened when I was interacting with the client.
It's all good. Happens. I was told that that my mic is being all sketchy. If it is, please say something in chat as to whether it is or not. If not, we'll just carry on with the visuals as such.
SDandy, I'm using Task Manager as well as the in-game one. It's currently holding at 6 gigabytes for me. So it's not too bad. It's not the 10 to 12 it was last time. I don't know if this is too much. What do you guys reckon? Is it using too much RAM? Or do you reckon this is about right, considering the sheer amount of Titans and Supers on grid?
And it's holding at about 2 gigs per client.
See, I'm just straight up 6 on the one. Sorry.
You're straight up on 6 right now. Like, I'm only at 2 right now. And
yeah, check your task manager. I have no other processes running. Task manager is dedicating. It's showing 5.5 to Eve, 0.5 to the rest of the ongoing stuff. So it's misreporting it in game. But yes, checking the in-game report, mine is about the same as yours, McLeod. So I don't know what's going on.
but I am using Intel and NVIDIA, so that could be a difference because I know you're running AMD, right?
Nah, I'm on Intel. A's would be the one to check AMD CPUs.
Ah, right, okay.
Well, I can tell you my CPU was Gen 1 Ryzen 7. I'm running at about 30%. Memory use total is at 9.4, but I'm running a whole lot of other stuff and multiple clients. In-game, I'm holding at about 2 gigs per client, so... yeah, that's on grid with the cap fleet here. I do have that camera up and running now, by the way.
Okay, cool. Oh, thanks, Cheetah, for the mic. But yeah, this is going to be more sort of more of a chill stream and kind of like, you know, just nice visual eye candy kind of thing. Then, you know, speaking. I guess we can kind of like, you know, just chill and speak, but like it's not going to be the usual like talk show of like, you know, not having dead air.
Did someone say chill stream? How are you?
Hey. Not too shabby, dude. Not too shabby. So part of this mass test is basically going to be a case of like people docking up and testing out stuff, like, you know, regarding in-station stuff. Because you can see at the bottom, like CCP Habakkuk saying dock at the Keepstar, because he wants people to dock at the Keepstar and just basically screw around with all the various different, you know, graphic, the user interface kind of stuff inside of the Keepstar. It helps them in some way, I imagine. I mean, being a UI designer, Ron, like, is there a particular aspect of this that you know, is useful for CCP in some way, shape, or form? For them to, you know, dock up and just start, you know, pressing buttons inside the Keepstar? For you know, going from, you know, migrating from 32 to 64.
So I think, you know, so there's a couple of things that happen when you undock, and not a lot of people know this. So you know how your inventory refreshes, right? Like if you open up your inventory, it'll say like, you know, it updates delayed 5 minutes or something like that. But actually, if you undock, it instantly updates, right? So one of the things, you know, that they're doing is they're forcing session timers. So and this is just my, you know, layman opinion, is that they're forcing session timers it really stresses out the server.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't.
The other one they've just asked us to do is open several different Neocon windows just to stress the client. And to be fair, it's holding it perfectly.
Probably an aspect of testing different graphics drivers and stuff like that. Because I would imagine that they're pulling statistics off of any crash. And that'll help them figure out what needs to get patched. And
it also sounds like it's kind of like a interconnectivity thing as well, because they're like saying, for example, open different windows like agency, fitting, inventory,
sounds like it's
corp window, basically stuff that like pull information from
there.
other, from other servers, in that regard, like, because the server cluster isn't just like everything's on one server. It's a collection of servers that are basically interconnected, so that it requires client like information requests and that kind of thing to be filled.
Yeah, I could see that.
So as much as me playing a part of docking, undocking, and pressing buttons and stuff, like I think you guys would prefer the eye candy from outside.
Crazy Lodger. They seem to be slightly faster. Sometimes I get the lag that we do now. Sometimes it's just straight open.
You know what else I'm noticing is the client that I have the most windows open in, and I'm undocking and redocking, is also eating up the most.
Yeah.
Okay, quick thing for anyone else who's here testing it. Is it just me, or when I click on the keep star when I'm normally looking at my ship, is your camera automatically switching to it? Or is that just some setting I've got that's screwed up?
So say that again. When you click the keep star, your camera is going. So you might have track on.
Yeah. What is it that I might have?
It's default as a C, I think, or is it Control C?
Yeah, I think it's C. Just make sure the tracking camera's off.
So if it's like an auto tracking thing, so you click on something and it automatically like centers your view on it, kind of thing. It's an auto tracking thing. I think the default key to turn it on and off is C.
Shift C.
Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Shift C.
That's fine. I was just there like, I don't ever remember having this working. Have they done something? Please tell me they haven't.
And here's a funny quiz question for you. When is that most useful? When is that function, the tracking camera, most?
Descanning.
Yes.
That's the one I've always used. Is it V and click someone and it automatically looks as well?
Well, you might have them set up differently, but yeah, it's like C or something. But because the D-scan will follow the camera, and then you can just click, click, click through the planets. And
yeah. So if you're basically narrow coning descanning to find somebody, like that particular feature like really helps with quick snapping to various different celestials that they might be at.
Mm-hmm. And someone's just said it's C and click somebody or something to look at it. Shift C is the by default or not option.
Ah, yes.
And then V is the descan shortcut itself.
Let's see where we're at right now. Just over 2 gig right now, full. Full total memory at the moment is at 2. Everything looks to be fairly decent right now. Okay, it looks like we're probably going to end up having the fight fairly soon. Usual gate camp fight on a mass test. I mean, as it is right now, you know, memory amount right now, I would be crashing.
Normally we would be, yeah. Or it would be extremely laggy.
Actually, would I be? What was it like? Is it 3 gig or no?
Should be
what is
4 per client.
4 point. Yeah, I think it's a little less than that. Like it's 3 point something, like 3.9 or something.
Yes.
Creeping towards 2.5 gigs.
Yeah.
The thing is, we seem to be using less than we normally would in a typical scenario that's the same, though, if that also makes sense.
I shall be back momentarily.
All right, I'm in one of the fleets and I'm getting fleet.
Yeah, I don't know if that was supposed to happen, because X was supposed to stay where it was.
Well, don't worry. The fleet commanders know what's up.
Habakkuk's just called it now.
I see our first target's been called, and now I'm wondering if the Icky Tursa was a good ship choice.
Why? What's the first target?
The first target is an Icky Tursa, the new hack, and I'm in a new hack as well.
They ain't going to pull out any interesting tricks this time, are they, with sudden things happening?
What, like the Triglavians are going to open a rift or something?
Yeah, I know they've pulled the drifters in before once.
Sorry about that. I've just switched over to Aze's kind of viewpoint right now.
Well, we got a nice big Titan on the gate here with us.
Oh, there's a fair amount of Titans from what I can see on either stream.
Oh yeah, looks like we had a couple of larger groups that decided to bring the big toys.
Quick glance in there and saw all these Nagelfars with a couple. It looks like a phoenix sticking out the front of it. I go, what is that? A giant friggin' tempest?
Hey guys.
Hey.
Welcome back.
What's up?
People how to get involved in this test.
How to get involved is to go log on to the Sissy server and then join the channel Mass Testing in Word lowercase.
I believe the fighting is happening on the other side of this.
It will happen on the other side, yeah, because you'll be jumping over.
So whenever you all are ready.
So they had our fleet do Control F9 and orbit the gate. Is that what? Are you guys in the same?
I don't know what that specifically was for, but we've been told to jump in now.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I'm in the same fleet, I guess. There's a couple of fleets.
Mm-hmm.
Got some smart bombing going on, that's for sure.
Oh, we got some nice doomsdays going on.
Getting out of here so that I can get so that I can actually get a good picture of what's going on without having to worry about dying.
Okay, you do that, I'll flip over.
Alright. I'm zooming back into the fight now here. Crank up the speed here.
Yeah, I'm hovering at around 15 to 17 frames.
Okay. I'm about 40. RAM is, let's see, 3.5?
Alright, I'm back in it.
We've got some crazy smart bombing going off on this. Doesn't look like there's that much oof. Some good
There's
lighting
some
effects going
explosions.
on. Some good lighting effects going on right now. It's looking good. Let's just check on the okay, so we're at 3.5 gig approximately, close to 3.5 at least on my system right now.
Yeah, jumped to about 3.5 as well. This is about 300 people in system. Frames are pretty low.
Minakawa just got the sharp end of a doomsday from an avatar right there.
I'm chasing down this Hyperion.
Ooh, we got a Tiamat in here.
I'm just going to quickly... be looking at a gecko while you know,
like a
while this
lance
fight goes
just
on.
fire.
Was just, you know, threw over a lance just a second ago. Across the path of the gate.
Crazy Loacher, no tie-dye. That shouldn't be affected by the 64-bit client, but I'm going to say they've just reinforced this server for this.
They were, yeah, they probably would have reinforced the server, but yeah, it's showcasing the 64-bit client quite nicely right now. There goes, what was that? Was that a hell that just went up, or was that underneath the hell? That was underneath the hell. Are you, Ace, are you currently in the process of, you know, getting your 3D mouse set up, or are you already set up with that?
I'm not going to comment right now. Something may be about to happen. Look at the red dots in the middle.
What red dots in the middle?
Autophysian lancers. If someone shoots them, we got drifters incoming.
They will
I'm
be
half
shot.
tempted to shoot one and suicide for it.
They will be shot, I'm fairly certain. Somebody will probably end up shooting them.
Set them off.
Yeah.
I think most of the Doomsday, most of the Titans are actually probably on Doomsday sort of reactivation timers right now. So like we have sporadic fighting and stuff. There's a nice revelation going up.
We got a Doomsday fire in here.
So I'm orbiting this Hyperion with the new hack, and it takes a long time to ramp up.
Yeah, it's not the quickest of ones. And I say, getting any reaction from shooting them? Because I don't see drifters coming in.
Ooh, that Naglfar is toast. Oh, he's not quite toast. Is he quite toast? He must be quite... Yeah, he is toast. There you go.
It's a Nyx that's taking a pounding out there.
Have a look at some Templars flying around. Group of Templars, check this out.
Ace, what are you in? You mind joining me killing this Thanatos near the bottom?
I'm in a pacifier.
Ah.
I'm just cloaked up and... Felt I'd leave some kills for other people this time. After bosoning the entire mass test last time.
Oh.
Another
They seem to be
dread
not
going.
doing anything.
There's a scythe. Or a lance, yep. Thought it was a scythe, but no, lance. Fired through another Titan.
Yeah, he hit that Titan pretty hard. Looking at the moment, we're looking at one of the one of the, I think it's the T2 version of the, yeah, it is. It's the T2 version of the, not Damavik Drekvek, it's an Ikitusura. The Vedmak, of course. I knew it began with a V. For some reason, it just, like, the name wasn't coming to me for some reason. But he is skillfully seem to be dodging stuff, or at least people are not shooting him, which is interesting.
The frames per second is pretty low.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only getting 15, but, you know.
Yeah.
Even so, it's still a fairly nice experience. And that, I believe, is actually a Kronos that we have up on screen at the moment, indicated by the very large kind of winged bridge section at the top. We'll check that. Yep, it's a Kronos. In actual fact, that T2 Vedmak was actually going is actually aggressing right now. Still a lot of capital action going on as well. Got lots of smart bombing going on.
Just had a Titan get doomsdayed again. Dreadnought just fired off at an avatar.
Oh yeah, I can see that avatar right now. Like I think it's
He's taking a pounding.
Yeah, Ida? Is it Ida Grimm? Because he looks like he's hurting right now.
That's definite armor damage.
Just had
I think you get clipped by that bosun right next to him too.
Yeah, just hit by bosun right there. BFG, otherwise known as. Ooh, something blew up right there. That was a Galinta carrier wreck. That was probably a Thanatos. I feel that the space is thick with Cordite right now. Oh, there goes the avatar, I think. Oh, there goes two avatars in actual fact at the same time. At the same time.
A lot of explosions going off.
I believe Antiquarian has called it a day.
No. Antiquarian says that it's done, but people keep on just shooting anyway. It's always the case.
Mm-hmm. It's the test server. Nothing matters here, anyways.
Now it's just a free for all. Now it's just like, you know, go for if you want to carry on fighting, typically.
Oh, we got a Galinta carrier blowing up. Boom.
Okay, I'm going to pass the mantle off to you, if that's okay.
Actually, I got a quick tech call.
Okay, I'll carry on with this then. Ooh.
Ron, you still alive?
Yeah, I'm alive. I killed a Hurricane Fleet issue, and now I'm on.
I'm back. This is a scam phone call.
Oh. As is always.
Oh, rate your congressman. We got to do something about this friggin'
Robocalling or something.
robocalling. Yeah, it's a serious problem.
Okay, let's throw this off to Commander Race's kind of viewpoint right now. I'll quickly jump that up. And he has his epic 3D mouse to be able to check some stuff out, so it'll be less jaggedy than my viewpoints.
I don't know. I did just have a cup of coffee, so every once in a while you'll see me just like bump the controller wrong.
You guys can probably see me on field. I'm on the character Kree, K-R.
It was you that I went to kill at one point in the Ikatsura. And then I went, nah, I'm going to go for this carrier.
Oh, you were in the Ikazara? I may have been looking at you at one point. I was looking at an Ikazara. Ikitusara. How's it? How are you finding it? Ron, how are you finding the Ikutasara?
Yeah, I was running it through some abyssals yesterday. The main thing that I was having problems with was cap. Just the cap is just starved. It's like a Cerberus, So the fit that I'm using right now is pretty good, but I'm running dual large cap batteries and dual prop, because the other thing is it's kind of slow, right?
Yeah.
All right, I finally got this Tengu.
So when the essentially when the 64-bit client comes out on Tranquility, fleet fights and the sort of like the streaming coverage of fleet fights are gonna get so much better in terms of visual quality and aesthetics, and just generally being able to see some stuff. That thing is indestructible.
A cockroach.
That is a cockroach right there.
Yep.
That thing is indestructible.
Yep.
It takes one damage at a time. So, I mean, if enough of us get on it, we can kill it.
Yes, a million people hitting it at the same time.
Like 7 million hit points or something,
Yes.
and a 99% resist profile.
Because he saw it the other day.
I see someone in a Leshak targeting me, so here I go.
What's his name?
Siphon.
I see him.
So, give a quick look at this Ikusara close up.
And what did you say it was?
He's already.
Z-Stew?
Oh, he's already dead. But Archon Nyx, Macarial.
Lance just got fired off.
Sorry, Ron, what character did you say you were on?
Oh, I'm on Kree, Kree.
Yeah, I see it.
I'll get in a slow orbit around this Nyx.
Yeah, let's go for that.
And you can have a look-see. And I put the fit that I'm using in.
I'm not gonna lie, the thing that I actually kind of I find really amazing in terms of visual quality is the lensing effect that you have with large smart bombs. I don't know why, but that just it just looks so good. Oh, we just had a volley from I think from a Leviathan. Just hit that Naglfar there. Just took that out. He was probably in low armor from the fighting before anyway.
Nyx that's about to die here. Trying to zoom out and use the visual indicators to see who's getting hit with the most amount of stuff.
Yeah, that Nyx is not not long for this world.
You know, it's sad that Lee Shack is almost the same size as a super carrier.
Yeah, it's as big as Dreads.
Like, something about that doesn't seem right. Give this guy maybe a minute to live. Looks like he's got significant armor damage here.
Oh yeah, it does look like he's got significant armor damage. Oh, there it goes.
That was somebody else.
All right. I saw a volley of Citadel Torps hit it. I thought that was him dead.
I think this would be, when we start getting into those big fights, this is going to be all kinds of fun to use, this type of camera without the fear of your client crashing all the time.
Oh yeah.
Gotta wonder if they're trying to kill it here. It's getting hit by quite a few people. You must be getting some really good reps, because
that thing is toasty right now. Holy crap.
I want this guy's engineering crew. Jesus.
Like, God, I hate to be Geordie LaForge on there. Like, guy's keeping it together somehow.
I'm giving it all she's got, Captain.
You should see Ron just trying to solo another Nick somewhere else.
I mean, hell,
he had me and someone else helping, and we died.
This guy clearly has both. This guy has both clearly Scotty, Geordie LaForge, and O'Brien there, like keeping the ship upright, in one piece somehow.
I've control F9 and I'm getting some beat.
God damn. How much? Oh, wow. This is a 16-year-old game, guys. A 16-year-old game. What other games were around in 2003?
Wow.
I mean, no, I mean, like, games that you remember playing in 2003 apart from WoW.
Freelancer.
Mm-hmm.
The original Eve. I have no idea how this guy is still alive.
You got dev mods or something.
And it's a Nyx, like, they don't tank that much. And I don't see any remote reps coming at him. And maybe he's getting shield reps, but
Like, this guy's the guy in the ship piloting it, like, is gonna get a headache. Like, he's gonna die of a headache before the actual ship dies. Just from the percussive hits of all of that.
yeah. I'm just waiting for the Doomsday to finish him off here.
Mm.
Enough Titans on grid. They gotta be all on cooldown though.
Oh, there it goes.
Yep, we got fires. We got fires.
That was a valiant, length of survival right there.
Kinda wanna know what his tank was, because that fit's got pretty crazy. Osim going off at a few capitals. A bit of cower that's about to die.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at that.
I think he just hit his emergency damage control.
Oh, is EHE? Yeah. EHE's only gonna.
Oh, yep, that's
keep so much,
him about to get boned.
Oh, there he is.
He's dead.
He's gone. He's gone.
He's dead, yep. Yeah, that Avatar doomsdayed him right at the end of the cycle. Getting some really good B-roll here for later videos. Where's the damage gone to now? They're peeling faxes. So Matterall, it's getting beat up.
Oof.
Oh, he's dead.
There goes another
Like
captain.
hell. Yep. This guy's gonna be the next one to eat it. My initial fear was that there was gonna be too much going on to really tell, who was getting hit with what. But there's actually a pretty nice amount of indications for, visually speaking, you can tell who's getting hit and kind of focus in on the camera.
Oh yeah.
Who's this guy? And a Baden that's getting beat up here.
There's also a Minotaur that's pretty low.
I missed a couple of things blowing up there. A few things blowing up. Trying to see where most of the damage is going again. Yeah, looks like that Minakawa, yeah.
Well, my damage is completely ramped up on Occult. I am at 15.
How much, sorry? You cut out at the end there.
1529, 1529.
Not bad. That's the cruiser, right?
Yeah, it's the T2 cruiser.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's what, beating the Drek just below the.
That Minotaur is dead. He's about to get. It's either going to be a lance or it's going to be a boson. Oh, it's a lance.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that is one hell of a shot.
Yep, that's going right through.
It's
gonna get him and the Dread next to him, too. They're both going up. Oh, the Minotaur survived. The Dread got boned, but the Minotaur is still going.
How the Minotaur? Well,
That's got to be the emergency damage control.
I mean, the emergency damage control is good, but like, is it that good? I mean, I guess
if you fire it off at the right time, he'll survive. Yeah.
I mean, it does up your EHP, like, but you know, it's not. You're not invincible.
Got another Minotaur about to die on the other side. He's going up now.
I broadcast that next target.
I will be back in a minute and I'll help you.
And we are past. I think we've been on around about 4 gigs, like pretty much, just under 4 gigs, which is interesting because that's like that isn't exactly like.
Got a lot of fire going onto an enemy Erebus. I say an enemy. I don't have an overview up, so it could very well be a Goon Swarm one for all I know.
There is an Erebus and an Avatar getting absolutely pummeled.
Say
hey,
some random Erebus.
Hey, there is no tie-dye right now.
Yep.
Oh, the Nyx warped off.
Get the other one then. Let's get the other one.
You have a point?
I will be.
Oh, he's definitely armor damage.
Yeah, this Erebus just took a Doomsday from a Ragnarok. Oh, and he's taking one from a... I'm so happy I've got a recording of this.
It's funny because it's so beautiful because the other side of the Erebus is like nice and pristine with its skin. That side that it's getting hit is like, Jesus, it's like it's like hell. It's literally like
what's
hell
under the hull on the other side.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ron, he's not going after you with the firebolts, is he?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, I thought he was going after me, and I was there like, he's not tracking me.
You capturing this Erebus as well, Ace?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll switch.
It's funny, we've got near identical views of it.
I was looking around to see if there was a really nice view to it.
The more he turns, he's shooting at somebody, I think. Who's he shooting at? It's a swing and a miss. He's not gonna hit anybody.
He's trying to hit a Nyx right now. Police skinned Nyx. Oh. Oh no, that's...
Yeah, it's a swing and a miss.
Yeah, it's a swing and a miss.
Sucks to be him. It's an avatar up top that's taking a little bit of damage, but I think almost everything is on this Erebus. You can see those bombing runs come in from the fighter bombers.
Oh, I actually want to check that out, so hang on.
Those little white dots that approach and...
Which one's the fighter bombers? Mantis and Cyclops.
Cyclopses would be good ones to watch. Mantises would be good too.
He got you, Ron?
Yeah, I didn't warp out, dude. I wanted to die. It's all good.
Fair.
Okay, we're watching a set of Cyclopses right now.
That's a really cool view.
Oh. They went back to the mothership. Which is kind of cool because it finished and then I just like looked at it was just at the mothership at the next set.
Oh, he's going up. He's going up. The Erebus is exploding.
Ooh. Oh, that is a rare one.
Yeah.
That is a rare explosion.
and the tractor beam pulls the wreck.
Wow.
And suddenly the tractor beam is just like, I'll take that, just, at 1,000 meters a second, just like, meh. That needs to be fixed. It needs to be
hell
fixed.
On the gate just got doomsdayed as well.
That's such a break. That's such a break from immersion, though. Like, that needs to be fixed at some point. Like, I don't like that. There needs to be a mass multiplier that reduces the speed of that kind of thing, because this is just stupid.
It is a little bit comical to watch it just kind of.
The Avatar's Doomsday's just gone off.
Yep, fired at a. That on screen for mine is a exploding Naglfar. Just got doomsdayed off field. And that hell is about to eat it because he just lost his shields.
Who's he getting hit at?
Is he gonna jump the gate? I don't think he can.
Oh, no, he didn't get it. He did not get it.
He didn't get it. Yep, he's going up.
Oh my god, this Avatar's trying to track me. And I'm in a Kiki. Yep, AB Fit Nano Kiki. Good luck tracking.
Did we get another hell? I gotta say, these Triglavian ships really make it easy to find out who's dying. Like, who's getting shot at, because you just follow all of the red lines.
Yeah.
I think this raptor that I'm looking at is actually squamming him. That next almost looks like he's going ramming speed. Yep, there you go. Smack. See if we can't find some more fight bombs. Checking out a set of Malleus's, which are is it Amar fighter bombers?
Yeah, that sounds right. Oh. All right, there's the Leviathan Doomsday.
You know, that's the thing.
brutal.
That changes everything. Like, yeah, he's into armor. He's not for this world.
Yeah, he's dead. There he goes. No, not quite yet. He's taking so much fire that it's difficult to tell when he's going to start exploding.
It's like survive.
On my screen, he turned into a wreck right away.
That was really strange. Like it looked like he changed. It almost looked like he changed skin just as he blew up.
Well, something else blew up on the other side there too.
Another Avatar Doomsday going. Oof, on another nag.
Yep.
And the nag is just gone.
Yep, the nag is dead.
It's just vanished. I am right now soloing this avatar. What the fuck?
It's like this Revelations next.
Oh yeah. These fighter bombers just literally just spun around and started shooting up. It was just like, a victim. And right, like in the middle of like right next to it is like this fight between a Hyperion and another shack. Oddly enough, that Hyperion's actually in that Hyperion and the is fighting the Revelation. Oddly enough. Oh, some capital cap neutralization going on from the Revelation onto that Hyperion right now.
So I think this Avatar is going to be next.
Yeah, he was about to use a mobile jump unit, and just everyone saw it and went, "Nope, that's dead."
He wouldn't be able to use it anyways.
Would he not? I thought.
He's too big.
Okay. I don't know why he was trying to use it then.
So I'm now up at 4 gigs per client.
Yeah, same here.
Per client? How many clients you got? Ooh,
3.
that was a nice.
Seems like it might be something with Rex.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the amount of Rex, like, you know, the...
Okay, the Avatar's going down quick now. 72% armor. What was that, 90% a couple seconds ago?
Yeah, he got hit with a Leviathan Doomsday just a minute ago.
Okay, he's also been hit by 7 heavy capital newts.
Ooh.
That kind of helps.
Yeah, I hope he has a passive tank. Because otherwise his
I don't think
hardeners
he
are
does.
off.
It's going quick. I'd say he's not passive tanked.
Speaking of
Avatar.
chill streams, did you guys see the post a couple hours ago in CCP Pellegro? Just commented.
With the bots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's firing off a Doomsday.
And the Rev survived.
The Rev is toasty.
HE'd.
The Rev is toasty. Look at... My God.
Oh, God, yeah. I'm actually questioning how he survived right now.
Through the power of, like, I don't know, God, I guess.
That's some dark magic going on there.
Get some God rays going.
So we didn't go above, 3 gigs earlier? It's since the fight has technically ended that it started going up a lot.
Oh, that Rev's gone now. Oh, someone's put a bubble up to make sure that the Avatar doesn't get away.
Yep. I just want to see both Titans Doomsday him at the same... Oh, we got a Titan Doomsday incoming on him, actually.
Oh, yeah.
ISD Skogel just said in chat, disabling resource cache. Which resource cache? Where do you disable?
It's in the option
under graphics settings.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine is disabled and I'm still on 4 gig.
Yeah, mine's disabled.
Oh, any.
Resource cache, essentially, you know.
Yeah, mine's disabled. I wonder what it would be with it on, even.
mine hit 4, but not that much over that. Like it's dropping down now with things dying.
Looks like mine's been pretty stable at about 4. No real change over the last 20 minutes or so. Something happened that spiked it.
And it's just sat there.
Oh, okay. Actually, no. That was the start of the fight.
Okay.
Looking at the timetable, that's the start of the fight when we all started going. And yeah. Guy dead yet?
Not yet. I'm thinking a Doomsday will finish him off, but I don't want to look round to see if there's a Doomsday going off and then miss him blowing up. But I also want to capture the Doomsday going off and flick round and see it hit him, you know?
So I haven't seen any tie-dye this entire time either.
No, there has been absolutely none.
I don't see much tie-dye at all, even at the peak of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
We were above 340. We hit about 700 at one point.
Yeah, but that's also got to include fighters, fighter bombers, drones,
Yeah.
smart bombs. You know, and when we jumped the gate, there was a lot of smart bombing going on.
An absolute ton of smart bombing. What are turfings? Turfings are heavy fun. Oh, there you go.
Oh, there he goes. Yeah.
Do we still have AoE from Titans exploding?
No,
I don't think so.
They turned
Okay,
it
I
off.
was just debating if I need to get my ship out of the way.
What does it look like he's warping?
He's not. He's
There we go.
dead.
That's not a warp. I mean, that's probably that's probably the mass test right there.
I think that's most of the things on grid, and at this point, it's very few ships left on grid. It's a revelation that's going to die. But
Instead, our locals are really fucking that up right now.
I gotta say, I'm looking forward to the next big fight.
Especially if this is on.
Yeah. All right. Well, I gotta step away. It's been good. I think this was a really nice test. Definitely lower levels of memory being used. So they've clearly done some pretty awesome improvements to it.
Oh yeah. People were talking about a memory leak maybe going on, but it seems as though either that's been cleared up or it's been minimized.
I do think that there seems to be a cap here where it hit about 4 gigs of memory. That said, I think if people are looking to upgrade their computers, I would recommend having more than 4 gigs of memory.
Yeah,
I would question why you still have 4 gigs.
Yeah, like at least 8 would be like,
would be
I
beneficial.
don't want to call people poor, but 8 gigs of RAM is like what, $60?
If that now. Prices have started going down.
If you're looking at putting in an older computer, it's not like you're going for super fast RAM. If you want to get to the point where you can run it at full graphics on 4 clients and still manage to get 15 frames a second in a huge fight, you're going to want 64 plus you're going to want it to be pretty good RAM. And I can tell you I'm running a Radeon 7 and 3 clients at max graphics was only about 15 frames a second. So
yeah, I was getting
there
about
could be
8.
some work done on that from CCP's side to cut the processing, optimize it a little bit more. But that said, I'm not unhappy with what I'm seeing here. Yeah, combat probe's about 4 gigs per client during the main fight there. That's at max graphics and everything. Max graphics, all effects, you can crank it all the way down to potato mode, but that felt really good. It did. That was actually, I like what I saw. But I'm headed out. I'll see you guys.
Yeah, I think we're going to probably end that stream there. To be completely honest, it was a. I mean, I hope you guys like the visuals out there watching. We're going to get more of this when the actual 64-bit client comes out. Obviously, for tranquility. I mean, end shot on a beautiful planet. That's Talking in Stations, right? We see that at the end of the Talking in Stations intro, like it goes to a planet and then. Psh. But yeah,
You can make it 4K now.
You can make it 4K. Like I know a way of doing it on my computer, but like I can't stream 4K. I literally don't have the bandwidth for it. But I can record in 4K now. So like, if someone else is streaming it on Talking Stations, I can record in 4K. Like, and other people can record in 4K. So we'll start getting, really, really awesome fight videos in like 4K and stuff like that, because people's clients won't crash here, there, and everywhere. So it'll be really nice. Oh, Matterall's come to join us just as we're about to end as well.
Oh, just
hey,
want to came by to see how it all went.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. We didn't actually have any time dilation as well, which was hectic.
Yeah, everything has to move faster on our end.
Yeah.
I saw some of it. It looked really good.
Yeah, it was not bad. That was a pretty nicely done test. I didn't see any bugs. It's going to need more testing, though, to make sure there isn't.
I mean, if you want to quickly just... I'll turn my thing on to see how much
This
RAM
planet
usage...
alone looks nice.
Like the RAM usage, as you can see there, like it ramped from like 2 gigs before the fight, ramped all the way up to probably peak was at 4 gigs, and then it kind of stabilized and then came down a bit. But yeah. It went fairly well, I think.
It's a nice planet. Is it a temperate planet, or is it a... What do they call those dust planets?
It's a barren planet.
Barren planet.
It's interesting because it doesn't look like a barren planet from this angle anyway. We don't see much of it, but
It's barren. I got to do some planet interaction.
I definitely used the wrong button there.
Well, good job, guys. Thanks for doing that. It's very well done.
Well, I mean, you know what? All of the fight coverage is going to look amazing after the 64-bit client goes through, because it won't be... I mean, it's partially, pre-set up as such, obviously, with mass tests. You don't get you don't get people adhering to strict doctrines and, that kind of jazz. So there's a degree of chaos in this, and unpredictability, and just general, like, fleets mixed together, firing at each other that, are normally a little bit more apart, right? You're not getting bombing runs, that kind of stuff. But when we see this when we see the 64-bit client on Tranquility, and we have the full fat super cap fights and dread bombs and bombing runs and all that jazz, that's going to be nuts.
Yeah, it's wild.
But I think they'll about do it here for us. So and enjoy the stream. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. We'll probably put this on. We'll probably put this particular stream on YouTube, right?
Yes, let's do that right away. Good job.
So this will be on YouTube. Go check out our YouTube. Usual thing. YouTube.com/c/talking stations. You can also find a link to it down below. Get subscribed. Hit the notification bell, all that thing.
Subscribe to YouTube. We need it. We're so close to 1,000. We just need like 150, 200 people. So subscribe. We'll push this off to YouTube right away. And I want to thank you, McLeod, for doing such a great job. You and your crew there. Commander Ace, Barghost.
That's all right.
And Ron.
Ace did most of the work along with McLeod. Me and Ron just had fun shooting stuff.
Good job, guys. It's good to watch. All right, McLeod, whenever you're ready.
All right. We'll see you guys later.